learn now. The ois base. V'zeu inyan v'yayin yisamach levav enish. This is the idea of yayin, the wine. And we're going to learn the level of chokhmah that makes the heart of the enish, that energizes it, gives it the level of tainu, gives it the level of joy. Because as the pasuk, as the saying goes, that nichnas yayin yotzer soid, that when the wine comes in, the secret comes out. In this case, it means the secret, soid hu hatainug shebi Yisrael. That's the level of tainug that is in the Eibishter's tainug, and the tainug that a yid has, that special delight that he has. Where is that delight visible? V'gilui tainug zeh hainu simcha shel mitzvah. This delight that the yid has, that tainug is when you do a mitzvah and you do it with simcha, you do it with joy. That expresses that level, that secret tainug that there is, and it comes out into the open. That's the nichnas yayin yotzer. Asher tainug asher eyachud. I'm not so sure exactly what these words mean. Either possibly Asher, what he uses here, is quoting like a bracha. When you do a mitzvah, you say Asher Kiddishonu. So the word Asher is Hutainuk, if that's what he's saying over here. Asher Hutainuk. And then he says Asher Eye. I think he's referencing the posik Eye Asher Eye, which Hashem said to Moshe Rabbeinu. Maybe that Asher is also the level of Tainug. I'm not so clear exactly from here what exactly it means. But in any event, it's the Yayin that brings out the level of Tainug. That brings out the level of Tainug. Tainug is the level of Keser, or it's the level of Pnimius HaKeser, because inside the inner Keser, the inner of the Rotzin, is the level of Tainug. He says, Vigilui Simcha Zuhi. What is the revelation of this joy? Is Aseirit Tzoyna Kirit Tzoyncha, as we learned in the previous Mamer, is Kideshi Yaser Tzoyncha. We're going to teach. Aseirit Tzoyna Kirit Tzoyncha. Your will, the will of the human being, the human being's will is below reason, which means first there is a reason, a logic, and then the person wants it because of the logic. So the rotzin is below, is a result from the das, minadas, and you should make the Eibishter's Rotze, which is L'mayla Mitam Vadas, to the Tzoyncho L'mata Mitam Kidei, in order, as it says further there, Sheyaser Tzoyncho Kiritzoynoi, so that your will, the will of the person L'mata Mitam Vadas, shall be Kiritzoynoi Shalamayla Min Hadas, which means that's the level higher than the Das. You should have that level of Rotzin. That's the level of Ba'atoro Sha'itra Lo Imoy. That's the level of the Atoro, the Keser, that the mother has given him. Which means you have first the level of Imoy Bina. From Bina, Imoy, you get the Atoro. And the Atoro, that's the level of Tainug of Keser. So he says like this, Shebechinas Ha'atoro Eino Ema Atzmo. The level of Torah is not Emo itself, it's not Bina. Eloshenasis me'emo. It is made out of Emo, but it's not Emo. Kemoya Torah Gashmis Just like the Torah itself is a crown. It's not part of the person. It's a crown. It's outside of the person. So while Ema makes up the Torah, but the Torah itself is not Ema. It's an item by itself. Ikir Torah, and the main Torah, Hainu Gilui Oir Abo. The main Torah is actually Chochmah, the light of Abba, the light of Chochmah, not the light of Bina, but the light of Chochmah. Kiliyos v'yayin yisamach levav enosh b'chinas pnimis bilvad, so that there will be yayin yisamach levav enosh just in an inner, in order for the yayin should be mesamach levav enosh in a way of only pnimis. Over there, you need to have the revelation of the Oir Abba of Chochmah. It's not sufficient with Bina. Why not? As for example, when you drink a little wine, that makes the heart rejoice. You become happy if you drink a little wine. As opposed to when you drink a lot of wine, then it's mevalvel hamoyach. Then it confuses the mind. So too much wine, need a little wine in order to make you happy, but too much wine confuses the mind. And v'lochein hoyu minaschim al gabe hamizbeach b'midah. That's why the libations on the Mizbeach was measured. There was Chatzi Hahin Lapor. A half a hin was for the por. Ushlishis Hahin was for the ayil. Chulu. It was measured because too much is no good. So you need to have a measure. A half a hin for a por, a shlishi for ayil. Ki Mizbeach hu b'chinas malchus. Mizbeach is the level of Malchus. V'hayayin haynu hamshochas habino. That is bringing down Bina to Malchus. Mitzorich liyois b'mido. It has to be measured. If you don't have it measured, then there is a negative influences, because ki bino dinin misarin mino. Because from the level of Bina, judgments come out from the level of Bina. Which means if you don't have a measured Bina, then you will get judgments. And that's why, V'lochein, what was Adam Harishon's sin? It says, Shesochat Eshkol Anovim. He squeezed a cluster of grapes. That was the sin that Adam Harishon eating from the Eitz Hadas. The Gam Chet Noach. The sin of Noach also had to do with the wine. It says Vayishkor, Vayizgal b'toich oholoi. He got drunk and he got revealed in his tent. Shemizen nimshach vayar chom. That brought about the vayar chom. The later on, the results, the bad results of Chum, and what he did, that's why it has to be, the wine has to be with a measure. In order to rejoice the heart alone, enough to rejoice the heart, not to confuse the mind, just to rejoice the heart, in an inner way. What happens through the simcha is kidei la'oirer hakeser, in order to arouse the keser, hainu ha'atorah, to arouse the keser, which is ha'atorah, shehu tainug ha'elyin shemis'oirer ha'idei simcha shel mitzvah. That is the supreme tainug, that is aroused through the Simcha Shel Mitzvah, we are mamshich the bechinas of Tainug, the level of Atorah, the level of Keser, through our Simcha Shel Mitzvah. And that's why we needed the level of Pnimis. So comes out through Bina, a measured amount that is Nimshach, we get to the level of Keser. But after we get to the level of Keser, we have to also have the level of Yayin, the level of Chochma, the level of Bittel. After the Ratzoi, we need the Shub. Avol achar shenis oired hakeser, after Keser was aroused, iker lahamshich moichin the abo. The main thing is to draw down the level of moichin the abo, the level of Chochma, the level of Bittel, lahatzil ponim meshemen. As it says, after it says v'yayin, v'samach levav enish, then it says lahatzil ponim meshemen. To make the face radiate from the oil, that's from the level of Chochmah. Shemen bechashoy. Oil is quiet, in a quiet way. There's a difference. The fire is a way of a lot of noise going up. That's the rotzui, flying up. And the shemen is the level of bechashoyi. That's the level of chokhmah, which is the level of bittul. That's why he quotes the pasuk. Ba'omdom terapeno kanfehem. When they stand, their wings are softened. They lower their wings. Because when there is the level of yayin, the level of rotzui, the level of excitement, then they're flying. Kanfehem, their wings, is mashe me'oifefim. That means that they fly. I know that is mashe hoyu boyarim. That is when they were burnt up, they were fired up. But here, by the Shem and the Pasuk says, ba'omdom ba'achar kach terapeno. Then it becomes terapeno, weakened. They lower their wings. Nase bechinas bittul. Then it becomes the level of bittul. After that great wings, after the great fire burning, they come to the level of shuv, the level of bittul. Begilui oir abo hu shebeikeya oir is the ema. The revelation of the light of chokhmah breaks through the lights of ema. Bayaver Hashem al ponov chulu. So Hashem passes through al ponov. That's referencing the light of oir abo going through later lemato, to go down below the hainu, the hislapshus oiris bekelim. That is to dress up the lights in the vessels. Oir hatoira, that's the light of Torah shenislapsho binyonim gashmim, that has been dressed up in physical matters, such as trumais umaisres chulu, the trumais and maisres chulu, and that comes, that breaks through to bring down this higher level, to bring down the mata in a way of Eres Bekel. V'ayin b'pri Etz Chaim Shari Yud Beis Perek Aleph. Zehu inyan Odom. Now this is also the idea. We say Odom, the name of humans is Odom, and the Gemara says Odom spells Aleph Dam. These two ideas of Dam, the burning, the fire, the flying, and then the Aleph, which is cools down and brings down into Torah mitzvahs, into Yashvus Oides Bekelim. Ki ha'ispailus v'hasimcha zehu nimshach mebchinas hadomim. The excitement and joy comes from the level of hadomim shebelev, the blood in the heart. That gives the level of simcha and excitement. Okemoi, as for example, v'yayin yisamach. wine makes you happy. That's the level of the blood in the heart. That's the rejoicing. But v'ha aleph hu b'chinas chochma. That is the level of chochma lahamtik ha'gevuros, to sweeten the gevuros, so that, as we learned before, that bina is dinin misarin. You need the level of chokhmah that it should sweeten it, so there should be no dinim, no gevuros. The pasuk says v'tachas. Here we're all of a sudden saying that there has to be the aleph lahamtika gevuros. It almost seems like the gevuros is not desirable. So he says like this: when the pasuk says tachas asher lo yavadito b'simcha, that the punishment comes for not serving b'simcha, hainu has cholad. To start, you had to start with simcha. Aval ein ze hatachlis. That is not the goal. Ki ein ze ela b'chinas rotzi. That's only the level of running rotzi. Tzorich li is b'chinas shuv le'echad. We need to be the level of shuv le'echad, that if you run, you got to return to one. What does that mean? B'hainu hamshochas oir abba dafka. That is to draw down the light of Abba of Chochmah. Sheyiyah oir abba dafke the dafke begilui. That begilui should be dafke the oir abba the Chochmas. The oir is the ema einon elo k'dei l'sameach b'levad. The lights of Bina are used in order just to make besimcha. But later on, you need the lahatzil ponim mishemen. You need to have the shemen because you need to have the oir abba. Chochma should dafke be begilui. And that's imrotz limcha shuv le'echad. You have to go to have the level of gilui. L'chein, b'chas sholem shu b'chinas hazivuk, in the bracha of sim sholem. Again, the last bracha of the Amida says sim sholem. Over there we say ki be'oir panecha nosato lonu teras chayim. So the oir panecha, the light of your face, is Gilu Oir Abba. That's the level, the Teras Chaim that we got. Ultimately, it's the Oir Panecha, the level of Oir Abba. V'zehu lahatzil shponim mishem and davke. That's why the pasuk says v'yayin yisamach levav enosh lahatzil ponim, because the goal is to bring down the Oir Abba, to bring down the lahatzil ponim mishemen. That the Teras Chaim that we have is the revelation of Oir Abba, the level of Shuv. It says in the parentheses, V'ayim ashekosu b'dibur hamaschil, ki savoyu al eretz moish v'seichem, V'ayim ashekosu al pi Mamer hazoyar b'parshas Vayera, Tav Kuf Yud Beis Aleph, al posik bas ovihi, b'parshas Parsha Emer Daf Kuf Amid Beis. Mashakosu mizeh gam kim divre maschu v'Yisrael. V'ay mashakosu divre maschu Yehuda ato gabe b'nei avicha. Ach, shemen zeh, this oil that we're talking, hainu b'chinas bittel shemachmas hasimcha shel yayin, the oil that comes because of the bittel that is in the simcha of the yayin, of the wine, so in the source, it's in the level of moichin. That's where it comes from. So we say the level of chochmah. Aval kishiyered Abba lemata benetzach v'hoid, but when it comes down into the level of netzach v'hoid, then it's called lechem, nikra lechem. Then it's called lechem. It is shemen. That's when it's still in the level of moichin. Over there it's called shemen, but when it comes down into netzach v'hoid, that's when it's called lechem, the level of moichin, the level of chochmah, when it comes down to Meshek Kosuv, The lechem levav enish yisod, that the bread, the heart of the enish, it will support. The yisod hainu oiz shel haTorah, the support, that means the strength of the Torah. Shenoisen koyach lachalishus haneshama, that gives strength to the weakness of the soul. The Torah gives a support for the weakness of the soul of the Vav Enish. As it comes down, then it's lechem. K'meshekosu b'machar al posik. B'chodesh hashlishi l'tzeis b'nei Yisrael me'eretz Mitzrayim chulu ein shom. V'kach, and likewise the Levav Enish, Hainu malchus sheyordo libiyah ragleho yordo smovis. Levav Enish means is the level that's malchus, that goes down to the level of biyah. Over there it's called ragleho yordo smovis. Her feet, the feet of malchus descend into death. That is the level of bri yitzira asiyah. And then it's called Enish, and then it's Levav Enish Yisod, that you need the support from the Lechem, from the Torah, as it comes from Netzach V'Hoid, to support it. Ayin, B'Moire Oir, Ois Aleph Siv Kuv Dalet. V'Hakoyach Hazeh, Liyos, Oile Ba'atzilus. How does the power how does Malchus get the power to go up into Atzilus? Hu al yidei Yeridas Oir Abo v'Netzach v'Hoid Zo. That is when the level of Chochmah descends in Netzach of Hoid of Zo, Shem Bechinas Oisius. So when you comes down to the formation of letters, when the level of Chochmah comes down to Netzach v'Hoid, then Torah has the power later on to bring up Malchus to Atzilus. Ki Netzach v'Hoid nikra shoykei ha'ish v'raglov. Netzach v'Hoid are referred to as the legs of the person, the thighs of the person, and his legs, which is sheheim bechinas oisius. This is like the letter, like the level of letters. The level of the feet are like letters. Why? As just like the feet lead the person from place to place. Likewise, through the oisios, the seichel goes from place to place, and that means when the Torah comes down into formation of letters already, and then it can go and descend, and that gives later on the koyach into the Torah, for when they didn't learn the Torah, to bring Malchus up. V'hainu bechinas chita, that is the same level. It's also the level of chita. The gematria chita numerical value is 22. Chita begematria chav beis. Chita has the value of 22. Shehein chav beis oisius. Those are the 22 letters. The 22 letters of the Aleph base are the level of Chita, and that's the level of Chochmah that comes down. Because really Chita is also the level of Chochmah. That we understand from the saying of our sages, Share'ein hatinuk yedeya likris abo achi yitem tam dogon, that the child does not know how to say Abba. That's when does he first start to recognize that it's his father. Once he starts eating the dog on the chita, that means that the level of chokhmah comes through the level of Chito, that's when he gets wise enough to say Abba, that represents level Chokhmah. Elo shebechinas Chokhmah zu, but that level of Chokhmah, he bechinas katnus me'oid. That is very small level of Chokhmah. Ba'ayin, it's all kind of cryptic, very, it's the beer, it's very short here. Ba'ayin mashakosum mizeh, b'dibur hamaschil usfartem nochem gabei chag HaShavuos. V'hainu bechinas oisye shebechokhmah, and this is the level of oisyes of chokhmah. V'heim b'netzach v'hoid zo. That is in the level of netzach v'hoid of zo. As we say, those are the two thighs and legs. That's the level of chokhmah as it's walking from place to place. Ulamato sheshom eitz hadas toivora, and below, in where there is the eitz hadas toivora, shom hu hislapshus hachokhmah. When it comes down into the level, I guess, from Biyah into B'ri Tzira Asira, where there is already the Eitz Hadas Toivara, over there is this Lapshus HaChokhmah V'Yirdoso B'chinas Lechem. Over there it becomes the bread. It comes to be the bread, the sustaining part that we get in the level of Biyah, Liyis Oiz, to give them the strength for the elevation. Comes through in below through the level of the oisios, which come down into the below into the place where there is toivara. The eino bechinas simcha k'mei hayayin. That's not the level of simcha. Bread is not simcha like wine. It's on a different level. Why? Ki lechem ein boi tam misikus. It's not a taste of sweetness, not like wine. Malchus. And that is the level of Malchus. Meaning it's not, but it's on the Moitze Pi Havaya. What he's trying to say is that it's the Lechem and the Moitze Pi Havaya, which is the level of Malchus, which is what gives the koyach to descend the ois to the yidden that they get through the Torah. So it turns out that what is higher is the level of yayin, of wine. Wine is higher than, because yayin is simcha, yayin is bina, yayin is still in atzilus. Yayin is associated with bina as it's higher, as opposed to lechem comes down to the level of eitz hadas toivara to give the strength. So it almost seems that the yayin is at the higher madrega, and a person should just do the level of yayin, the level of simcha. But the afo became tchila hu halechem. First, the pasuk says v'lechem levav enish yisoid, that you have to have first the bread. Kenoida, as it's known, she efsher lishtish yayin aliba rekono. You can't drink wine on an empty heart. You need to first have bread. You have to eat something before you drink. So you have to have first the lechem before you have the yayin. V'shomhu, and over there is lochamu v'lachame. Over there is what the pasuk says, lochamu v'lachame. You have that in the level of the lechem tchila. Over there you have lochamu b'lachami. You have the lechem with my lechem. Shtei halechem. This is the two breads that they brought on Shavuos, Heim Netzach v'Hoid, which is both Netzach v'Hoid. So you have Netzach and Hoid. That's the feminine, the masculine, and the feminine. These are the two lechem. So Ihu benetzach, he, the male, masculine is netzach, v'ihi behoid, and she, feminine, is hoid. Behoid, I mean, these are concepts of the Kabbalah that talks about in the Kabbalah, but the hoid who benikud malupum, hoid is the vowel is a malupun. So it would be like hud instead of hoid with the choilam. It's with a malupun, but lochein nikra locha mu. The level locha mu. Gam. So because he's explaining why is it called it lochamu. My lochamu breads says lochamu instead of lachami. The second time it's lochamu lachami. Why lochamu? So just like hoid has the vowel is amalupum, so that's why it's also called lochamu. And gam lochamu loshen rabim. Also, it says lochamu in a plural, not locham, but lochamu. Hainu aliyas hamalchus mirishus harabim to the depruda. That's the elevation when malchus is lochamu, goes up from the separated mountains. That's from bia. When it comes up, that's lochamu, and lachami is hainu ihi benetzach. That is with a vowel. The lachami is already with a chirik. So first you have to bring the lochamu, belachami, bring up from malchus into atzilus, into lachami, into netzach and hoid. And then you can have the yayin hamisameach, the level of bina v'liyas lahatzil ponim mishemen, to get the shemen, to get chokhmah dafke ba'atorah shotrulim, to get the kesef. Ach bechinas ha'atorah zu, but this level of the atorah, tzorich liyas tze'eno ure'eno. Tze'eno ma'atzilus. Get to that level, you have to go out of Atzilus. Ki ba'atzilus hakoil b'bchinas makifim. In Atzilus, everything is in a way of makif. So in there, you can't really get the higher level. And it's not revealed and visible. Meaning, when you're in Atzilus, you actually cannot be and appreciate this level. You have to go out of Atzilus. Go out, and then you can see B'noi Tzion. Hainu be'echolos de Bria. When you are in the rooms of Bria, Shom Murgash v'nigla k'vei gilu hatainu chulu. Over there, you can sense the level of the tainuk that is revealed. Cool.